of stuff requires bravery. We act like a
Right,
lot of things
right,
are just
right.
esoteric,
It's different
it's
levels
spiritual,
of bravery, but
it's
yeah.
just a general like thing for you to think about and reflect on.
Right.
I'm yelling at the TV. I'm saying, "Oh, that's a swoon." I'm loving the writing. What are we talking about? The season finale of Abbott Elementary. This is funny. Listen, we got up through the first little tiny commercial break and then the first major commercial break. So this end of the year, the little elementary kindergartners have gone through their moving on up day. It's so cute. And this is going to be the whole end of the year episode because it's end of season episode. Love it. And Janine's throwing a party for certain teachers and she has planned it to a T. And it's so fun to see that sort of, detail-oriented Janine who wants everything to come together.
Did you see any of yourself in Janine, do you think? Maybe a little bit? Maybe?
Wanting everybody to have a place and everything to be thoughtful for each different person and for everybody to be allowed to be supported. Yeah. I ain't gonna work that hard. She worked really hard on it. Oh. So cute. Yeah. I do work hard on certain things, but trying to make everybody have a little space, I work a little bit on it, not as much as Janine. She's amazing. So yeah. Look, y'all, I'm struggling through the whole, wow, I didn't actually really see that much of myself in it, but he's right. Loving it. Loving we have room to see all these different folks. And with this ensemble, Abbott Elementary writers are knowing, let's give a scenario where everybody can be allowed to shine in their certain way. We're going to do this, the socially awkward, and Janine's ready for it. And Janine's ready for Barbara. And the other, what's the other teacher's name? The one who's sort of more street. Ready for her to also want to come in and sort of fix everything early. They come in early, uninvited. Well, they're invited to the party, but not invited early, but she knew they were going to come early. So I love that the writing says we know all these different characters. Jacob coming in with his partner, gonna come in with the, we love this drink. She's like, no, listen, this is what y'all need. Janine knew, and the writers know. And so they're letting us all be satisfied watching Mr. Johnson come in and have his little area and say his little outlandish things. Love it. That is really smart writing, not to let any of these characters get lost in an ensemble. To give you room to see how each one enters the party and what has Janine thought up. And then we can play the game of, okay, what? Oh yeah, that's right. That's Barry Gregory. That's right. Good job, Janine.
Right, because we know, watching that, we know all their little quirks.
We do.
As does Janine, and so we get to sort of play along with that.
That's where this is an easier thing for us to be inspired by because we do know this show for several seasons. We've watched it off and on, and we talked about it on an earlier episode of Inspired by and Wide. So we're liking to play along, and we have a little bit more joyfulness here because we can do it along with all the other viewers. Yay for us! Okay,
right. It's nice to see Janine doing something that she's good at and that
she pays off.
And people are liking it, because usually she does something that's positive, but people have a bad reaction to it or something like that. So.
And that's probably about to happen. But so far we're riding high. So we're going to be on the roller coaster with the show. Everything's going well and it's going to probably get complicated. But right now we're very happy. So. Okay, we're talking about the latest section of the season finale of Abbott Elementary. We've gotten up through the now third commercial break here, and the party at Janine's place is hopping, and she's freaking out. Now, this is where, y'all, I do not relate because...
Why is she freaking out?
She's wanting to control that everybody has a specific space so they can't grow and be dynamic and surprise her. I love a surprise, y'all. I like an improv. And it's the sign of the great party when there's synergy. That people have an idea and you didn't see that it was coming, and actually people are loving it and a lot of great stuff is happening. But that's where we get to learn. We get to root for our girl who's planning things out so well so she cares about people. But she has something to learn too, which is you're going to have to let go and woosah. So we're at the place in the writing where they have shaped to have all this good stuff that Janine's trying to do start to shake her a little bit, and we can all feel like, oh girl, come on, just loosen up, everybody getting lit, everybody having fun. Barbara's talking about, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, this is so fun to see Barbara get her brown liquor on. So I'm having a great time watching the payoff of complicating things. A lot of times when I'm on a journey with people and a story and the stakes get higher and higher and things start to fall apart, I'm so disappointed for them. But with Janine, I feel like it was fun to see her have her early moments where things were coming together just as she planned. And then you knew it was going to loosen up. So far, I feel like because people are having a great time at the party until we get to the power outage now because she's trying to control everything and make sure everybody has a space. Everybody has their support, but it has to go just the way she wants.
Right.
So that's going to, of course, not work out. Gotta have room for people to surprise you. Yeah. Evolve.
Yeah, and she's getting, really heated because things aren't going the way she wants, and so she's getting really frustrated.
Is there a spiritual lesson in there somewhere? You already getting one for us?
I think it's patience.
Oh, yeah, you said that before in another show.
Yeah.
Okay, so patience to let people see. I want to look at it a different way, because I sort of like my idea about the writing showing all these different people's thing. And so Janine thinks she knows everybody's thing,
right?
But these folks are allowed to be more layered,
right?
So I want to think about it as a lesson in you're allowed to know people and they're allowed to grow. So you can know and they can grow.
Yeah, I'm sure
and I think
many lessons. Yeah,
that's not the spiritual thing, I guess, but it's more connected, I guess, to the writing. So you giving the spiritual thing about patience, that Janine needs to be patient with herself, I guess, or patient with
the situation.
The situation
meaning
the party's lit. The situation is the party's lit, just not the way she thought it was going to be.
Patience is when you are able to, not get angry when things don't go the way you planned. Basically, when things are, not the way you expected.
So I more so look at it like letting go of it to need to go a certain way to get what you expected, because what she expected is a good party. But she's expecting to control every single step along the way.
Right.
So that's why I'm thinking about it differently, even from a spiritual perspective. It's like that letting go of control so that you can allow the magic to get you where you want it to be, and even a better place. Patience, you're saying. I'm saying there's something else about realizing that there's more than we understand. And that if you're reaching for something good, the universe can conspire in all kinds of ways to get you there.
Right.
I want to think about it like that, because I feel like when it comes to her saying, I want to have a great party, everybody have a space, they are choosing different spaces. They are starting where she wanted them to, and then finding other spaces. So she wanted them to be static. But the universe is conspiring for them to find a space here, and then a space there, and a space there. She thinks that's problematic. It's problematic if she tries to stop it from happening in this way of like, well, I don't think it's going to be okay because I didn't foresee it going on. As opposed to, it's not okay because people beefing. Because so far, nobody's really beefing. Like, it's just Janine up against her idea that everybody should stay in one space.
Right.
As opposed to have 2 or 3 spaces.
Janine's the only one not having a good time.
Well, it matters, because the host should have a good time too. Yeah, and caring so much about other people that it's hard for you to let them surprise you and teach you.
Well, she's caring difficult. More. She definitely is caring about other people, but she's caring more about
her idea of other people.
Her idea,
That's it. Okay.
Her expectations.
We can't know other people fully.
Right.
And so realizing that people will constantly be mysteries to us, even if we're paying close attention, and even if they're being communicative in a way that's reasonable given the relationship, is an important lesson. I like patience. I think that's good. But I wanted to put some other stuff in there.
Sure.
I'm yelling at the TV. I'm saying, oh, that's a swoon. I'm loving the writing. What are we talking about? We're talking about the section before the 4th commercial break in the season finale of Abbott Elementary. Thank you. So the party got saved, but once again, the will they, won't they of Janine and Gregory was circumvented because they were during the blackout. Blackout had not gotten fixed just yet. They're in the bedroom talking and sort of encouraging each other. We've had these wonderful arcs of their growth throughout the seasons, and they were celebrating each other for that. But it wasn't done in a stiff way that's like, let's make sure we recap things for people. It was done in a honest to these characters way. Nod to the writing, nod to the acting. We love that. They're appreciating each other's growth. That's a sign of a good relationship. You're there for each other, trying to grow.
Oh, that's what it looks like?
That's what we do. That's what we do. You let me grow this business. I'm helping you grow your time for spiritual stuff and your own personal growth. That's what that looks like, y'all. We love it, though. No, for real. I really am loving that they had this honest moment. And then again, it was thwarted. But you know what they let happen? They let me get a swoon in. Because after the party's wrapping up, Janine sort of wants to reach over to Gregory, but he just cuts out because he's still not aware of her status and is she dating other people. And Janine is realizing that she really does want to say something to Gregory, even if it does affect the job that she loves, that she wants to go for this. She talks to Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson says, you know, you just have to go for what you really, really care about in life. And the consequences can be out of your control if you go for it or you don't. So you need to go for it. Great advice. Great advice. This show constantly lets these characters need these pieces of advice, be ready for these pieces of advice, and then put them into action.
That's advice I need, for sure.
We all need that advice, because a lot of us are told, what are these consequences? We've seen them in the past. They're not zero. They're not zero. They're real consequences.
She says, well, what if things don't turn out the way you want them? You know, and he's like, who cares?
Either way, you at least went for what you wanted.
Who cares if you lose your job? Get another job.
Yeah, know? Because she already experienced trying to change, and that's what Gregory was sort of celebrating for her. She already stepped away from a job she loved to try the district job, so she's already growing and willing to move in certain areas. The thing is, a lot of times we work really hard in one area. We don't want to see that shake another area, but we can't control everything. Yeah. And so that's what Gregory was trying to tell Janine, that lesson that we know she was going to try to learn. He was like, yeah, you know, rules and certain systems are fine, but also people can enjoy without it. Right. So we saw the party. They were making eye contact, trying to move toward each other. It fell apart. Yeah. Then after the party dies down, both of them sort of decide, you know, I really do actually want to go pursue this. Right. And they sort of move toward Janine, wants to go back outside and track him down. He turns around because he gets more information about her status of not dating Manny from the district. And so they both go toward each other. That's what you want. You want both characters to show agency, that they both want each other. You don't want one person to be ready and then the other one's not. We've seen that before. Right. So we were signaling, okay, this is going to happen. And then they're turning toward the camera because it's a fake documentary kind of setup. And they're like, y'all not going to block this. And when Gregory steps in and says, I fixed your light, because it was too tall for her to fix it. She was trying to get everything fixed, and that was one thing she couldn't fix. That's what happens. Yin to the yang. Somebody brings something into your life that you want, that you can't do for yourself easily. And they're like, I did that. And I swooned when he was like, I fixed your light for you. Because he brought the swoon energy, and we've been shipping them for years. Yeah. So, but they're both ready. They're both ready to say, what are the consequences? They're ready to deal with the consequences that HR might be like, one of y'all got to go. Yeah. Because Ava, the principal, saw that they were flirting and saw, okay, well, might have to rearrange some things. So they know the consequences, are aware that this is still a good move. They want each other, moved in, and we got to see, because the fake documentary camera's capturing it, and they kissed anyway. And then after the kiss, they look and pull down the shades, because y'all, we don't need to see the rest. I loved it.
Another thing I was thinking of, it's not directly like spiritual, but you know, the whole concept of bravery.
Literally, that's what Gregory said to Janine. Yeah, you're so brave to have a job you love, but then risk it to do more.
Right.
Isn't that right? Isn't that what they said?
Yeah. And just the bravery of them, you know, risking the, you know, not being ready, or not, you know,
rejection.
Or you know, just losing your job because of it, or
the consequences, external,
some sort of consequence. So that's, I mean, within spirituality, it's not like a direct spiritual thing, but you know, you need to have bravery when practicing spirituality, and you know, because there's so many unknowns. You know, you have to have faith in certain things, and just sort of try things even though you don't know the outcome, and you know, have a little bit of faith and bravery.
To put the things in practice, for you to not just have it in your mind, but to live out a spiritual life. You have to be brave. For one thing, the world isn't necessarily set up to support all of that. And another thing is, spirituality helps you grow, and growth can be shocking and frightening, because when you have established something and it's taken you from where you've been before, to change your thinking and go through another stage of cognitive development means you're letting go of some of the things that have gotten you where you got
before. Things that you're comfortable with.
Things you're comfortable with and are valuable to gain you what you've gained. But then to be able to learn, you got to integrate some other knowledge and let go of maybe some assumptions that were no longer true. It's frightening. Yeah. And it takes maybe some time to be less effective in everything, to go through that change. If you're following, maybe it's a Piaget. Piaget has this cognitive development series of things that you're thinking about, where you're at this certain stage of cognitive development, you're learning, and then you get to this mastery with this level, and then to transition to the next level, there is a stage where you are not as effective in understanding certain things because you need to integrate the new piece of knowledge,
Right.
and so you have a loss of some consistency of putting things together, and that takes bravery to move through that. Just in terms of like learning, it takes bravery to integrate and then let go and learn. And sometimes we're resistant to that. And sometimes it's hard to get kids to learn something because they're holding on to some old assumptions that only worked when they were just working with certain things in the playground and not asked to integrate more sophisticated things. I'm only mentioning that because a lot of stuff requires bravery. We act like a lot of things are just esoteric, it's spiritual, it's just a general like thing for you to think about and reflect on. But if you want to put it in practice, if you want to really have mastery over time of things you're learning, including in a spiritual area, it takes bravery to take a leap of faith to say, I don't know how it's going to be for me to integrate all this, but I think it's beneficial for these reasons, even if I don't know all the intricacies of how it's going to come together.
Yeah, absolutely.
It takes bravery.
Yep.
I like the acting in terms of pulling off some of the things you see people do. A little bit of a recap for us to all understand what this moment is for these characters.
Yeah.
Love the writing to lean on all these different folks getting a chance to loosen up at a party. Love the diverse characters doing what we do at a little house party. Janine's real comfortable in her cute little dress, her cute little going through the party now that she's more relaxed. They already had the thing that happens.
Yeah.
When you have a party, something's going to happen, and it already happened, and it shook the party, and the party recovered. So the thing already happened.
Right.
And so she's now chill, and we see it in her body.
Yeah.
We see her move through that place where you're moving through your space and moving through your life with some joyfulness and a little bop. I love that.
Yeah, as far as the acting, I was noticing Quinta and Janine.
Quinta's genius.
Her character is it's easy to see her quality of acting because she doesn't have a character who's
outlandish.
Outlandish, yeah, thank you. She's very straightforward.
Ava, outlandish.
Yeah. Has little quirks, but basically she's acting like a
very realistic person.
Yeah, exactly. So you can really judge her acting, with that, and I really like it. I like.
What are you liking the most about it?
It's just sort of
it doesn't and quiet moments.
Yeah, It's not overacted. Which
she finds these quiet moments, y'all.
Yeah.
With this faux documentary, it's the camera work. Because they have a construct wherein somebody can give a very subtle reaction and then the camera changes.
Yeah.
Because it is faux documentary, so there's a camera that we're supposed to be aware of that's there. That's where the style lets people be very understated, but the camera work provides hey everybody, this is a big moment, slap in your face.
Right.
And when we have these other styles that don't do faux documentary, they try not to make you think about the camera work. So then they don't have that angle of let's be able to bring people in to know that this is important.
Yeah.
They have to not operate with that variable as much.
Yeah. So I mean there are I do appreciate the characters who are very
Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
Eccentric, a little bit pushed a little.
Eccentric, yeah. But you don't really get a feeling of like, are they doing a good job acting? Because it's like it's sort of
I love Mr. Johnson's
sort of like
take.
A different thing.
Yeah, because he's doing a very realistic take on outlandish statements.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't. Because the things he says are going to be so big sometimes. Like he makes these statements about his past that are sort of outlandish, like things that, like I think in this one it was, things can happen in life that you can't predict. Like you're about to go on and then you're replaced on the panel by Paula Abdul. He's going to be a judge on American Idol. He says that and throws it away because the statement itself is so big. So his approach is let's be very realistic and small in a kind of way that's very like relatable, but then the things he's saying are crazy sometimes, or just very unexpected. Not crazy, but just unexpected. Yeah. And they linger with you because they're pushed. Love the acting in the show. We've talked about that before. I really love that I have come to really see Ava, the principal, outside of her work at Abbott, because I believe her way more outside of Abbott. So
What's the difference?
No, there's not a difference. It's just the context of her not needing to be a principal.
Oh,
I am less
yeah.
like, girl, how are you
Yeah.
getting away with that? She's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
living her life
yeah,
outside of Abbott. And
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, there are people like that, sure.
Right.
But then I keep thinking, how do you hold on to your job?
Right.
You know? But of course, I've missed some episodes wherein they explain that. And I could actually relate to the opening scene focused on Ava, where she was talking to a video of herself in the past. And her video of the past was trying to be really positive and like, we're going to do all these
from
things.
The future, I think. It was a video.
Okay, she recorded a video of herself in the past, and she was playing the video.
Okay, got it.
And so Jacob walked in and sort of interrupted, and it was an interesting overlap where in the video that she recorded of herself in the past, and she was saying to herself in the present.
I think the joke was it was a video from the future. And
I'm sure there is stuff that was stated, Tim, that I couldn't understand because we're running the AC. It's hot, y'all. It's a little hard to hear this thing.
Right.
So when you're saying the joke was that, there were multiple jokes, like when Jacob came in and Ava on the video was saying, and you're really helping people. And your teachers, they come to you for advice. So Jacob comes in for advice and she's like, figure it out yourself. And he integrates that as, okay, you're right, I can. And he actually takes it as a positive thing. When at first, that little moment of that joke anyway was she's not doing what this video is telling her that she's of course doing, but in the way she is, she's just not doing the way that we might have thought initially would make sense. But see, people just, they find a way to get something from the people around them. Jacob is, he's a flexible person.
Yeah. I like his character. It's fun.
It is because
it's not too far out there. Like you know,
no,
people,
it's not.
You can know people like that.
Yeah, you do. I like it. I like it. There's a lot of diversity on this show. I like his character. I like a bunch of their characters.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I think we were hailing the acting. I think we were, and I was saying I'm now even more of a fan of having Ava's character. Keep her in there. She isn't too far out when I get to see them outside of the school and inside the school. It's where when she's inside the school, it's a strain for us to keep thinking that she would keep that job. Because we have missed, like I said, some of the episodes where they might explain, oh, she does these extraordinary things really well, or she's still plugged in to be able to manipulate to keep her job. We just missed watching all the episodes.
More the latter, I think, But
yeah, that's what they said earlier on. She knew where the bodies were buried, and we saw some of that play out in the earlier seasons. But I still like to have her in the mix because they are hitting different notes of personalities that you can see as familiar to people you see out in the world, and keeping her brand of selfishness and unaware, and keeping that with their people out there. Y'all, we know them.
Maybe selfish not that and unaware, extreme, but
right.
But
yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
That's the thing about reality versus watching stuff on TV. We've got to be able to see more of what's going on so we can appreciate it and understand how these characters are bumping together.
Right.
So in reality, unfortunately, we don't know sometimes that somebody's so selfish until a lot of things don't add up. And then we realize, oh, they were lying to our face and they really are like that. With Ava, you more so seeing it right in your face.
Preach, girl.
Yeah. She's fun to laugh at because she's not messing your career up.
Right. It's always fun when somebody else is having trouble and you can laugh at them.
Well, it's fun when somebody else is doing something that's familiar and you're like, I don't love it that they're having trouble, but it's familiar. That's about how that goes. Exactly.
I've been in that situation
before. I'm not having fun watching people struggle so much as I can recognize, that's about how that goes, you know, and recognizing ourselves in stories is why we go to stories, recognizing people that we love and recognizing scenarios that are familiar is why we go. I don't love to watch the struggles, but I love to watch people, you know, and we struggle. So we're going to have to watch that.
All right.
Let's watch how they struggle through the end. I love that we were already given that kiss, though, between Janine and Gregory. So I'm just like, they already check it off the list. Thank you. Whatever complication they want to give us after that. Whatever complication they want to give us after that, I'm good. So we finished watching all the doings for the Abbott Elementary season finale. You look very serious. Are you thinking deeply about what have we not talked about yet that we want to talk about? Because I think basically we've talked about most of the main things. There was a nice little cute segment at the end that we were having some problems hearing. And so we assume it was very funny, but, you know, didn't catch all of it. Oh, look, no, you noticed it was very funny. Look, my hats are off to the writers, the actors. I really enjoyed seeing some characters that I've seen before. get a chance to get to a certain level in terms of their relating to each other. It was satisfying to see people up to their old shenanigans or whatever, but also when Janine was saying she wanted people to heal relationships and bring people together, it was really satisfying to have Janine get to reach over and have that kiss with Greg. And then you're going to look forward to what are they going to do in the future for future seasons. Satisfying having us say, tension relieved as viewers in one way, and then opens up a question of how's that going to affect the working life at Abbott. So we're curious. Let's tune in the next season.
Yeah.
I definitely want to watch more of the series in the future. I do think I have warmed up to it over time. That's one of the things that we haven't done as much of with other shows that we've talked about. I think when we talked about Abbott Elementary previously, y'all can check out that episode and see if some of the things that we were concerned about, they just melted away because people brought together the season in such a satisfying way, because that might be the case.
Yeah.
Or if maybe we just had some of the same complaints, but just glossed over them because it's a season finale and we were just like, it's the end, it's going into the summer, everybody's happy, we feeling happy, so let's just go with it.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the best, if not the best, episodes that I've seen of Abbott Elementary.
So satisfying. And unlike the other shows that we watch, we really have seen this show over years of time and multiple episodes this season. And so I think we actually can appreciate it. And I do want to say multiple times, if y'all out there want to comment, like, and subscribe and suggest some of the things that we need to look into for other episodes of Abbott, because we've only seen a few this season, please do so. We'd be happy to sit and watch one if y'all request that we sit down and watch it and let us know why we should be watching it. What should we be inspired by? What do you think we like it for? Also, you can check out us talking about an earlier episode of Abbott Elementary from this season and just enjoy being inspired out there by the writing and the spiritual connections and the acting. Not a lot of music here except for the moments in the party where they're moving to it and just being happy in our bodies and just signifying this is a good house party, y'all. So that was cute, but not heavy perception of the music there. But a lot for us to be inspired by. And y'all, hopefully you'll find things to be inspired by in the meantime. Take care.